Hey everybody, video here for you today. Ancient America. I still have quite a list, so I'm going to keep at these here. Had a few messages on this site. Thought this was pretty interesting. I've talked about this subject before recently. We're going down to Skeleton Mountain in Alabama right down. I just find it very interesting. I talked a lot about serpent mounds and serpent effigies found all over the ancient United States. Well, we're going to talk about one up in Skeleton Mountain, as they call it here. This is right near Oxford. I talked about this place maybe about a year ago. It's been a while since I made that video. This is either a Walmart or a Sam's Club down here. And during construction, on top of this large natural hill, there was a stone mound up here, and they removed it. And that is well documented in the area. That was an important ancient American site right there, removed. And is that a natural hill? Well, I'm assuming it is. Back here, this is Iron Mountain Road. This is Skeleton Mountain, of all names. Right up here, there is a large serpent effigy, probably built by the same people who built the stone mound. On top of that feature, down there in Oxford. Here's a PDF I will use, Preliminary Investigations at the Skeleton Mountain Snake Effigy Site, Calhoun County, Alabama. And here's the general location of the snake effigy. Guess you need a four-wheeler and do some hiking to get to this site here. Just reading very briefly here, it says in March of 2007, the Jacksonville State University Archaeological Resource Laboratory staff and several local volunteers began preliminary investigations of a serpent-like stone feature that lies upon the crest of Skeleton Mountain, overlooking the former Fort McClellan military installation in Calhoun County, Alabama. Researchers believe prehistoric woodland Indian populations constructed this nearly 2,500 years ago as part of their ceremonial mortuary rituals. It says during the spring of 2004, tribal leaders, local officials, and JSU archaeologists visited the snake effigy. Native American representatives were in agreement as to the ceremonial and spiritual sacredness of the site. It is also agreed that the snake effigy needed immediate protection and that plans should be made to map and photograph the structure in the near future. And this was done about 15 years ago. Here is one area of the Serpentine Rock Formation. This is facing northeast, and I'm just wondering if it faces maybe the summer solstice. That's just a possibility, but you really can't know without getting an exact alignment here. It says the effigy is a low, loose rock wall of pavement running along the western edge of the summit of Skeleton Mountain in snake-like fashion. As with thousands of other stone wall and mound sites scattered throughout the eastern United States, two questions are frequently posed. Who built these structures and why? That is a good look at this effigy on this mountain here in Alabama. Here is one area of the effigy. This effigy is only about 200 feet long, but still you need a lot of stone to do something that long. But they say, some people say, well, these might be farmers' fences, but up this high and this ground is totally unsuitable for growing crops. So those explanations just don't seem to fit at all. Here's a simulated view of Site 1, CA 157, as it is called. And this is where it is located on this mountain up here. Here is a pic. It says bulldozer damage in the northern portion of this site here. The view facing south, but I guess this site has incurred a little bit of damage by people that really don't know what they're destroying, I guess. Here's another pic of what they think is a stone serpent effigy. And I've talked about them in other places in the country. Mounds Park in Indiana, down by the river, there was a serpent effigy. Of course, by Fort Ancient in Ohio. I mentioned that one maybe about a month or two ago. But this one in Alabama, well, these were spread all the way throughout the country. Here's a list of sites in the area. Stone mounds and the stone walls featured, but a lot of stone mounds found in this area here. You can just tell ancient sites were spread across this whole area here. Just can't help but think about that stone mound down there at that site in Oxford. Also, I made this video, Alabama, the Bessemer site. When they got down here, there was just stone ruins all over this site. I will leave the link for this video below, one of the more interesting ones I did on ancient America. Why the serpent form? Well, ancient cultures around the world had special reverence for the snake and what it symbolized, and that was really cross-culture. Of course, in Egypt, in India, and here at Chichen Itza, this is the bottom of the pyramid, the serpent found at the bottom of the stairs here. I know some of you are into stone wall research, and of course I showed that property up in Canada, Steve's property. He has what he thinks is a serpent effigy on his property. But I found this very interesting down by what they think is the head of this serpent. There's a special shaped rock down here. And does that symbolize the snake's head? Well, I think that's entirely possible. And the head was very near a spring or a pool of water down here. I also found that interesting. That diamond-shaped head, here are a couple other rock wall effigies they think are in the form of serpents. With that similar diamond-shaped head, I think that's symbolic of a serpent head right there. Here, crew members are clearing the surface adjacent to the northern spiral formation. So there is a spiral formation, not only what looks like a head of the serpent, but there's also a spiral formation. Of course, there's one at Serpent Mound and many other serpent-type effigies across America, so that kind of seals the deal that this is exactly what this is intended to be here. I just thought this PDF was really good. It goes over all the reasons why these can't be the simple explanations put forward by people who don't think these are very ancient, but they obviously are to me. Maybe 2,500 years old, maybe a little older, but this obviously had high importance to the people who built it up here. Here's another look at the serpent effigy rock wall. At least that's what I believe it is. But why would they build it up on this mountain facing northeast? What kind of symbolism does that represent? I'd like to hear your comments below. Here's an overhead look at the serpent effigy wall, kind of slithering through the woods here. Could have been facing southwest too, pointed at the winter solstice, the day the sun dies, and that would make sense if this was some sort of mortuary symbol up here on this mountain. Here they point to evidence of stone modification, certain type of stones napped and put into this serpent effigy. Here's one area, seems to have been disturbed quite a bit, but this will give you an idea of some of the size of the rocks they used here. Here's one last look at the site. I believe this is part of the area that was damaged by bulldozing. But it says there's an agreement between archaeologists, Native Americans, and local citizens that the Skeleton Mountain snake effigy is ceremonially and culturally unique to the area. It is paramount that JPA officials do everything within their power to protect this valuable and cultural resource for present and future generations. So I don't know how many of you know about this effigy up on this mountain here in Alabama, but I was glad to do this video today. That is a video on Skeleton Mountain, the snake effigy up here, built maybe 2,500 years ago. And that would be consistent when Serpent Mound in Ohio was built. The snake, certain symbolism, very important to these early cultures. That's another Ancient America video. Hope you thought that was cool, and you all have a very nice day.